everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. My apologies for getting caught in my closet. And I had an incident that happened earlier this morning, so I was trying to find the pieces to it. And it's going to require too much moving stuff to get to the parts. And I'm like, no, I don't have time for that. So I just said to myself, okay, well, I'll take care of it later, much later. So I have to talk to all of you. This was crazy. So crazy what was going on. And Co- Chocolate Cosmos, um, you, I know you're not on here just yet, but I have a message for you. You came up in my um, space. Like I get a lot of um, contact energy, or how do I put it, like information wanting to come in and chit chat when I'm driving and when I'm in a tub of water. So I have a message for you, and I put it out there that I needed you to pop on here today. So let's let's see how the gods help us to connect. All right, let's just get into it. Lots to talk about. Okay, lots to talk about. Lots to talk about. Lots to talk about, to the point to where it won't be long like yesterday. Yesterday was super long. I need to still eat. Still need to eat. So I was out. And here's the thing. Last night I had this dream. And it was two different type of dreams. But one went through the sky, seeing just the redness and those flaming things across the sky again. And as I was looking up at it, I said, oh, we're doing that again. And then I was with like this guy, and we were hiking. And he says, come on, I have something ancient to show you, and I know you'll understand it. I have something really ancient to show you. And I said, okay. So you'll understand what I'm looking at. Nobody else will understand it, but you will understand it. So as we were hiking, we were headed towards this really big mountain. It was gorgeous. It was like a mountain I'd never seen before. It was bigger than Mount Shasta. So I'm waiting for Chocolate Cosmos to come in. So the energy of that mountain was huge. It was just a huge mountain. And I'm going to tell you the rest in one moment. So I left a message saying that everything that we've been doing, because this is day 10, that we have pushed out a vibration where it was caught scientifically where it rained out and it came back to the earth. And I was like, okay. I'm not just saying just our group did it. Hi, Tamara. I'm not saying just that. Thank you, darling. I'm saying that it was the collective who all came and started doing their singing bowls and doing their connections at that time. But we started like 4 days before the solar eclipse came into place. And I already told you what the message was about that solar eclipse. So now, supposedly, allegedly, I'm waiting for Chocolate Cosmos. If you're in house, please, darling, you got to let me know that you're in house. Welcome, welcome, welcome to all you beautiful souls of Be So Light. So we wrung it out. The energy that we've been doing when we come together every day. So far, they just still have me at this 7 minute, keeping it right under. Because the energy of what we did for those 4 days before the solar eclipse hit has already taken effect. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So I hope I say it right. Carrie K, I think it's Carrie K. I don't follow her or anything. I barely, I got a friend that referred her to me. So I'm just sitting there and I heard, you need to go over to her page right now. And I was like, okay. So I went to her YouTube channel and she was talking about it. And I said, oh my God, this is clarification. This is validation that what we have done, we caused a ringing out, which is really good. So today I would like to honor the connection and manifestation with Auset. And I'm going to tell you why this is important. And I'm going to tell you how it's all connected. But it's connected in a very sacred way. So as I was in the dream walking with this guy to go up this big mountain, this mountain looks like something it was in Africa. That's what it looked like. It was a huge, big mountain, like the mother of all mountains. It was just beautiful. And he says, you can read this. I want you to read this. And I'm like, okay. So we're walking across the ground and it's green. Then all of a sudden, all this water starts coming in. And it's cold. It's like icy cold water coming in. And he goes, oh my gosh, the land is filling up with water. And I said, you don't say. So we're running. We're trying to run and to try to get away from this water coming in. And we don't make it. We don't make it. But I'm going to tell you what happened. Breathe. Inhale, exhale it out. I designed this. Yes, I designed it. Just breathe. Breathe, breathe, breathe. So, we're honored in the 7 minutes of this energy. Go ahead, if you have a little bit of oil, place it onto your hands. Let's activate those hand chakras. and activate our senses as we dive into this. Activate it. One more breath. Activate again. And brush it off. Okay, so we're running across, we're trying to get to that mountain. This all ties into what happened today, this message. And the water comes in and we get sucked into this big amount of water. All this water comes in and it pulls us under. He drowns, and I call out to the ancestors of the waters. So the ancestors of the water showed up along with Lady of the Lake. Okay, I'm showing how it all connects. And they all help to bring us up to the surface, to the water. And right next to me, that was helping to guide us up, a big whale shows up to help guide us up to out of the flooding water that came up out of the ground that we were running on, trying to get to that mountain. This water just came out of nowhere. So I'm like, oh my God, he's drowned. My friend drowned. He drowned. And I start doing CPR on him. I'm doing CPR. And I give him breath. And I'm saying, come on, come on, come on. We're here. We're here in front of the mountain. It's like the whale literally brought us up to the shore. Like all this water came in. What would have took so long for us to walk to get to this mountain, the water came in and literally pushed us up to this mountain. So he finally gains consciousness and he's like, oh, what happened? I said, you drowned. And he says, in the waters? I said, yeah, in that water that came up. And he goes, how come you didn't drown? I said, because I called on the mothers of the waters. And then all the mothers of the water showed up, including Lady of the Lake. He goes, see, this is why I say you have to come and read this wall. I'm getting goosebumps as I'm talking about this. You have to come and read this wall. So he gets up like nothing. I'm like, but don't you see this whale? Don't you see the whale here? He goes, thank you so much, whale. Thank you. Thank you so much, whale. Come on, we got to go. And I said, sorry, whale. I'll be back. So then the whale blows the water out of its spout as blessings to say, no, go do what you got to do. So we make it to this mountain and we go towards it. And then I'm like, where is it going? What is it I have to see? And I wake up and I don't go back into it. And I'm laying in bed and I'm saying, what? So what woke me up really was one of these disc things at the bottom fell off the wall. It just fell off. And it didn't have enough sticky stuff on the back because it fell earlier and I stuck it back on there, took the stuff and stuck it back on. It was doing fine. And then it just fell off right in that dream state. And so I woke up. So that dream was kind of lingering around and I just kind of kept having this weird sensation that this is like we're in something really big. Bigger than what we know. So I kept hearing, go to go to Half Price Bookstore. I go, I don't want to drive out. Go to that. So my friend calls me up and said, hey, I got your bread. You know, she made your loaf. And I was like, okay, great. Because I had the last piece of it just yesterday. And I was trying not to become cray cray because I didn't have my bread. Bread is so good. It's so addicting. The way she makes it. I have walnut raisin bread. It's made out of spelt. So it's easy to digest. The body, my blood type loves it, and it loves to be able to eat it and no problems. So I go pick up the bread. I drive over to Half Price Bookstore, and I'm saying to myself, why am I here? And I go, wait a minute, I had a dream I was here earlier. But what am I looking for? Whatever it is, I didn't find it here. I said, why am I here? Why am I here looking at the book? So they said, well, you're gonna get a book. And I said, okay. So I said, okay. So I got this one. Now, keep in mind, I'm tying this all in. Okay, I'm tying this all in with how it all works today. This book was sealed in plastic. And I was like, wow, that's interesting. It was sealed in plastic, so you can go thumbing through it. So I had to take a chance and just get it. And they said, get that book. And I said, okay, fine. So then I sat, and it was like this thing. Let me see what African medicine books they have here. I'm very, very disappointed because here was the lesson. And then when I finally opened this up, there was a passage in here that was like, boom. So I'm walking around and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking and I'm looking. Only thing I came across was this art of hoodoo candle magic by a lady I'd never seen before. And I said, oh, that looks kind of cool. I love candles. I like to do prayers and stuff with candles. Hey, I don't have this. Let me get it. So I went ahead and got it. And I'm wondering, why am I getting this? Okay. Now keep in mind, I'm thinking, what is today? So I go and tap on the Kemetic calendar and it says it's a holy day. And I'm like, okay. And I start backtracking on what is going on with all the manifestational stuff. And then I find out through a lady who video came up on my feed. I never heard of her before. And her name, the YouTube channel she has is African Spirituality Go Nafeti. I can't say her last name. It's a big, long last name. And it's N-A, starts with an N-A, and it goes into that. Well, her feed came up on my thing, and I was like, and I said, what? I feel like somebody's trying to get a message to me. But I was just kind of like trying to figure it out. And lo and behold, she has manifestation with Auset. And I said, well, wait a minute. Yesterday we talked about the runes. And I pulled out and I said, okay, today we're going to talk about the fifth tarot. We're going to talk about ether, creation of ether. And she had it in her video. And I was like, so then I was just like, okay, so this is a message. So I had already had everything laid out. So when I would come on, all I had to do is just put it on to my little table thing here and dive into it. So I'm thinking, okay, this is cool. So one of the things I wanted to say about being connected in this manifestation time of Auset. Now, I'm not an expert. I'm always learning, not an expert in it. I only teach from my experiences of things that have been channeled, things that I've been experienced. That's my medicine. That's what I do. How spirit uses me as a vessel, brings that information in. That's what I do. So remember when Tuesday I said that the I Ching 23 was on the wall and I'd never seen that before in the morning, these lines on the wall, and I was like, what the hell is that? And I break it down and I find out it's I Ching, right? And it's to split apart. Now, keep in mind, Auset is representing the manifestational season. We are in the manifestational season, the galactic calendar. Now, I don't know how, but get this. When I showed you the picture, look, split apart. Split apart. She even said it in her video. This is going to be the splitting apart. I was just like, okay. And then she talked about, you have made it when you're with other people that are doing their work, thinking like you, moving ahead. They're ahead. They're not stuck. They're not stagnant. They don't come from a place of fear, and they're not coming from a place of scarcity and lack and still holding on to those timelines. What have we been doing? We've been splitting apart. And to honor the Ancestor Holy Day today, knowing that it's a day of rest, but it's also a day of reflection, and to move into that. So I thought today would be a good day to step into this medicine of the Katush and then the fifth element to read a message of the day. So, and those of you that also like Yamayai, beautiful book. I love this book. It's so pretty because I am a shell person. When these shells started showing up in dreams and started coming to me, I was like, oh yeah, I want to get that. And I was using them from healing to kind of do this dusting off on the body and cleansing. This is very a cleansing thing. And did you know in Hawaii, they also use this as a part of cleansing the auric field. Okay, did not know that. But I saw a grandmother that's from Hawaii that uses it like that. So, let's go ahead and dive in and tap into those energies of the ethers where creation is and where the flow of creation is. So a lot of times when we're talking about, okay, we did the setting of our intentions, now we're doing the manifestation of it. The manifestation of it is us holding the space for it to show up, taking the action, being clear on it so it will show up, but also remaining detached so it will show up in the greatest way. So this is just for the highest good, bringing in this info. So we got one from the Katush, and then the fifth element, the fifth tarot, restoring the fifth element. So it goes that fire, water, air, earth, and ether. Now, I've told all of you the story about these cards, how I had to have them, I had to order them, and this was at the time when the bookstore called East West Bookstore was down off of Fair Oaks, I believe. That was a fun place to go to, and then it had to close. Like everything else had to close. We all go through these cycles. Okay, card with the meaning. We'll see. Okay. First card for Katush. Cyrus. And this is a number 1. So let's see what the message is. In these books, I love this book because it really takes you into the medicine, diving in. It even has a this is the book. It even has the method for using divination. So it's really cool. It has the spread, the horoscope spread. And then it shows you how you can set it up, just like that. Okay. So, let's bring this in. Okay. God, King, Lord of Light and Spirit. This is all about the meaning of wisdom, justice, integrity, stability, respect for those older and wiser, and responsibility. Okay. Wise spiritual father, and his energies are gentle but firm. They represent religious and devotional matters, wisdom and kind of spiritual strength one can turn to in a time of needs. So it's all about stepping out of that mundane consciousness and stepping into the wisdom of the ancient ones, stepping into that, tapping into that wisdom of it. So its justice, integrity, and responsibility are expressed here, as well as healthy respect for those older and wiser. So in the reading, it represents an advisor, a counselor, or some reliable, well-adjusted person to whom one can turn for understanding and guidance. In the first house in the horoscope spread, Ori's would be advising and inquiry to rely upon his or her own judgment. So that's that message of the answer, and it really plays into what the calendar, the Kemetic calendar, is representing today. So I tried to upgrade my calendar on the app, and it wouldn't let me do it. It was weird. It was like doesn't go forward, but yet still the calendar is staying in sync. So I'm like, okay, maybe they have something different going on. So the card we have in the 5th tarot is the shaman's card. So we have star language, we have astrology, we have 2 other ancestral medicines here. One looks like, I want to say it's Celtic, and the other one is a Mayan one. Okay, so shaman. Now we know what the shaman represents. It represents one's path of medicine, what you're doing, what calls to you. And a lot of times, let's not get tricked by, there's many different types of shamans, okay? So this one is ancestry. So this is more like the shaman that represents knowledge and tradition and community. The shaman is deeply connected to the rhythms and the forces of nature. They work with the animals and the plant medicines, the skins, the feathers, and awakens the empower one with specific energies. The experimental nature of the shaman's work enables the shaman to travel many realms and dimensions. as to perform ceremonies and rituals and bridge the natural and supernatural. This is what it represents for the shaman. So those of us that have sight, that are bridgers of time or bridgers of healing, because it has that 5 on it, it's the bringer of energy of change. This is strong. With it's like a 55 or 555 that shows up a lot. This is bringing in that change. The bear claw necklace is the medicine that connects to the wisdom of the ancestor, but is also about the power to heal the community, honoring traditions, support and respect life, and bringing forward new ways of guidance. So, when I think of Auset, her being the mother, I think of her as she is that part of connection. Now, I'm getting ready to get a little deep here, and I'm going to apologize right now. This is what I'm about to say is not to hurt anyone's feelings at all. But I'm saying what I need to say so you can kind of understand what's happening now. So when I was walking around in Half Price Bookstore, wondering why that was about the only book I could find, out of all the books they had there, that was about it. Until I went to the African history part. And this is the part that gets me. And I'm going to say this, like I said, I am not saying this to hurt anyone. I'm not saying this. Do not get triggered by what I am saying. Okay? Those of you that don't get triggered, you will understand what I'm saying. Okay? When I went to the African history section, thinking that I would find cultural books of African medicines in cultural ways, all I found was the indoctrination of slavery, the N-word. That's all that was in that section. The people who were murdered because they spoke their truth. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, and many other great, I want to say, melanated people. When we say the word African, I was standing there being befuddled. And you want to know why? Because I literally remember back in the day, I had a conversation with someone from Nigeria. And I said, "Hi, it's a pleasure to meet you." And I remember asking him, and I brought this up before, and I said, if I was to come to Africa, how would I be welcomed? And he literally looked at me and said, and it didn't make sense at the time when he said it, but it makes sense more than ever now. Because in the first part of this book that was wrapped up, he says this, and I'm tying it all in. One of the biggest problems with history is that we know almost nothing about it. Nothing about it. We know the history that's we are not allowed to connect with, that part of it and how things had to be. But I found myself going through the books, and I'm looking and I'm like, where's the healing books? What's all that stuff? So this is why I have to go on to Amazon. Exactly, nothing. Go to Amazon and go look. And even Barnes and Nobles. Let's not get it twisted there. They're scarce. They have just a few. And I'm like, what is wrong with this picture? You mean to tell me the only thing you want me to know about this is the indoctrination of slavery? Now, when I talked to the Nigerian man, he literally told me, well, you would be welcome, but we see you as just an American. We don't call you an African American. We just see you as an American black. And I go, huh? He goes, but I simple my answer. I said, no. We have tribes. You're known by the songs your people sing. That's what connects you. You're known by your songs. That history is missing as a part of it. Considering evil, you can be upgraded. Yes, that's what's coming on. That's what's happening. Exactly. So when he said that to me, he says, you're missing your native song that you would be recognizing your tribe here. And I'm like, so, and then I started to feel bad. Now, look at this. I have the color like he does, but he's still not going to recognize me as a true African person because I'm in America, because I don't have a song that ties me to the lineage of my people. And I just kind of stood there looking at all the books. I kept wanting to see something different. And you want to know why I really grabbed this book? I'm going to tell you why I really grabbed it. There was this book and another little book next to it. And that was it on that shelf. That was it. And I was like, you mean to tell me you got all this medicine of people, but that's it? So, hi, Lisa. This is a deep topic, honey. And I already gave a disclaimer about something that just happened. So, there's no, please do not get triggered. Don't get offended by what I'm saying. I'm saying this for a reason. It's almost like standing there and I'm looking at the books. And there was something that this lady in her YouTube said. I'm getting emotional about it because it's sad. They wanted us to forget ourselves, forget who we are, and not to remember that. But remember the indoctrination story, not having their freedom. So, this is where, and I'm getting ready to get really surreal. Here we talk about our truth. I show up and I share all of this info that comes through and it cycles through. To be told that people have to fear you. To be pulled out of and denied a lineage. This is where the healing has to take place. This is why we as a people, and I'm not just saying brown skinned people, I'm saying people, all of us are out of sync with each other. Because we have been doing this. Splitting apart. So I literally had to kind of step back from those books. And I was just like, this is not everything of us. This is one part of a stamped energy that has to be healed across the board. This is why even in the Black community, we are out of sync with each other. You have single Black mothers trying to raise children because the men have been incarcerated. And you want to know what it is? It is the subconscious raping of our minds that has taken place for so long. Now, don't get it twisted. Yes, hating each other. This is not in any way shaming, pointing fingers, or anything. We're going to keep it on this healing level because you have to understand this in order to move through it. So when we look at this and when we say there's disbelief when we connect to manifest, this is deep. Because all this happened right when I'm standing there looking at all the books and I'm like, and I just get this boom. And I said, this is where it hits. This is why so many people struggle to manifest their dreams, to live their dreams, because we're so busy trying to get over the wound of limitational belief. And the biggest one that all of us carry, either from a past life all the way up to now, because all of us are traded off and been colors, different colors throughout our lifetimes as an experience. Okay, I remember very much so telling my mom at age 5 or 6, playing with a doll, and I looked at her and I said, Mom, where's my red hair? Where's my green eyes? I'm in the wrong body. I'm in the wrong body. This is not me. I'm in the wrong body. I need to be like this doll. I remember still to this day of when I said it to my mom. Go for it. So I want to wrap this up with, this is where this healing is coming in. This is why our consciousness is going up, because everything needs to be revealed. Everything needs to be put in order. Everything needs to come out and placed on the table. How can you heal and step into a higher belief of self and step into that manifestation if you have an old energy, subconscious, deep in the DNA that sits back there and tells you you're not good enough, you'll never have it? Why do you think you should have that? This is where we come in and we start cleaning that out and breaking those contracts. We finish that part of what the ancestors started and break away those parts that we can't keep dragging through. And I love what she said in this video because I said the same thing as I was going to sleep last night. I said, it's about to get surreal because people are going to think that they can just still drag their same conscious thought of themselves into this new energy, and this new energy is here to make you go, nope, you don't get to anymore. You don't get to hold that anymore. You don't get to think that way anymore about yourself. You have to release that. And it's getting really deep in that part of releasing it. So when I came on here, I really wanted to be very authentic and true to what the message was going to be, how it all ties in together. Yes, we're in the season of Auset. Yes, we're in a season also of the splitting apart of the old way of being. That's what this whole thing was showing. And then to be in that dream, trying to get to the mountain, and then all that water comes up underneath and sucks us down into it. And I'm calling on all the ancestors, hey, help me. You know, my friend drowned and I'm trying to hold him up. And then this whale shows up to help move us to land. It was just like one of those dreams where I sit back and I say, wow, this is crazy. Our spiritual awareness has been dumbed down. Yes, we need to go within and listen. Yes, exactly, Lisa, exactly. So please hear my heart. I wanted to present this energy experience that was right in front of my face, and I could not deny it and could not ignore it. And I made a conscious decision when I was standing there and I was looking at all of that, and I said, I consent no more to this indoctrination. This is not all that represents us at all. This is something that needs to be healed so that we can truly move forward. And it's going to get healed regardless. It's calling energies out to make it get right. This is the time people, we have to come together and make things right. We can no longer sit by and just be okay with it. Oh, it's okay. That was in the past. Da, da, da. Yeah, it was. But the subconscious mind knows it's still there. The DNA knows it's still there. It doesn't forget because it's imprinted there until someone comes in and says, we're cutting that timeline out. We're moving that disbelief. We're moving that limitation of belief out because it's no longer true. When we talk about ether and stepping into ether, that ether is a part of us. It's a part of the creation. It's in the ether of the womb itself. It's where creation comes out. And you want to know another reason why I got this book, other than it was a hardback, is because of the spiral. The spiral has followed me all my life since I was a little girl. And it has linked me not just to Ireland and Celtic, because my bloodline goes all the way to Ireland. Wonder how that happened. And so I have to honor that. And I honor everything that's the Egyptian and the African of motherland of that. And also here in the United States. So when we talk about honoring ancestors, it's not a color thing, it's a blood thing, it's a connection thing across the board, all the way through. So, my closing statement for all of you, for the cards that we did get today about the shaman and then Osiris, is that we're honoring those ancestral parts of ourselves and that wisdom. We're honoring that. So when you hear people say things like, I don't pray anymore, I don't do the prayers, I don't do that, da 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 da. When you look at the meaning of the word prayer, you understand why you don't want to do it. If it's like begging, it puts you in a place of not having, where you feel as though you don't operate from that creator particle of yourself, that true source divine self that's online right now. And that's where all of us have to really tap into. And that's the gift within itself. That's the healing within itself. It's learning to trust yourself. Learning to trust your divinity of who you are and walking in that and honoring that. That's the truth of it. So, my apologies if I got a little emotional, but it was a little like surreal, you know, because a lot of times I just kind of like, oh, that's the only books they have. You know, I think of it like that, but I dropped deep into it and I felt it and I said, no, this is not what it's all about. We're more than that. We all are more than that. So, happy connection, celebration, season of Auset. Also, holy day of the Kemetic calendar. I hope they get their thingy right. So, because I want to upgrade it and want to have it sync more, and it's not doing that. So, I want each and every one of you to just really think about that. I had an upgrade last week. I know now that I came here to learn in this incarnation. With all that has happened, my lesson is acceptance. Yes, I am so happy for you, Lisa, because everyone goes through their experiences and we all have our experiences. That's what we're here doing, learning who we are, healing. That's what we're here for. It's not to be caught up in old storylines that keep you prisoner. You got to break free of that. You're so welcome. Thank you. Thank you. So, everyone, keep ringing your bells, doing your singing bowls. When we say putting out a prayer of light, we're putting out a divine light connection. And that has reverberated, rippled out, and has come back to us. So if you're hearing like a bell tone sound, that's the beloved universe sending it back to us because we sent it out 4 days prior before the solar eclipse. I still have to deal with the human emotions, but I am in connection with my higher self and can feel the lesson. Beautiful. When we can connect and feel that lesson and we're able to forgive, that's how you know you've healed it. Okay? That's how you know that you have stepped through. You stepped through that door. Now, I've taken all of you on a journey from everything from the galactic, journeying to the key, setting up, getting into the source, the solar eclipse, getting prepared and walking through that, creating the ripple energetic light anchoring, and then creating your sacred portal of manifestation to not just manifest, but to materialize what you want to see in your reality. What a journey. If you were to ask me 20 years ago, did they have YouTube 20 years ago? Oh. If you were to ask me that, whoa, would you see yourself doing? I probably would have told you, I see myself getting my bachelor's degree and going high up into my nursing practitioner, da 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 da, because I would have been in status quo. I am very grateful and humble to have gone through what I went through and all my illnesses, not being true to myself, trying to fit somebody else's curriculum and judgment of what I should be like. And when I had to go through that dark night of the soul and almost losing my life, just giving up on it through illnesses, and to finally make the conscious decision to stay. And as soon as I did that, everything changed in ways that I didn't see coming. And now I spend time chit-chatting with y'all on here on YouTube and talking to people on the phones and emails and talking to people in the community and people who are worried about stuff, gonna give up their business because things have happened. And I'm like, no, yes, encephalitis. So we all have been pushed to the brim, but it's when you get pushed and you're on the ground, that's when you have to make a decision. Are you going to stand up? Are you going to get back up? Some people don't get back up. Some people just stay down. You have to be willing to get back up. And then when you get back up, there's something that takes form in your spirit. It's like, kind of like a rhino. A rhino is a very difficult, hard animal to push down. A rhino can destroy a car. A rhino is fierce. It's fierce. It becomes that it has that fierceness. Same with a black panther, a jaguar. You come around her cubs, she's gonna rip your ass apart. She's fierce. We have to remember we have that in us, and not to succumb to just quitting. And we have to also remember when we're bringing things into manifest and to materialize, we have to remember we've already aligned with it. Now we need to just detach and allow the Creator to bring it in. Okay? Yes. So today was one of those days where it was like, holy Cholito, from the dream to going to the bookstore to why am I only getting these 2 books? That's not what I came here for. Having a full-on argument with Creator. The Creator said, get the books. I'm like, okay, fine. So, and then I open it and see that word, those words in there. And I was like, okay, this is going somewhere. This is interesting. And I want all of you to experience this. All right. Remember how I always say, oh, you want to be on that 5th dimension, that 6th dimension, that 7th dimension, that 8th dimension? Okay. I want you to go up a little higher. Try that 8 out. Then I want you to go to 9. I stayed up on 9. I went into 9. That's why everything was so boom. I was like, whoa. I go to 12 when I do spiral light. But wow, to kind of just be in 9 and I'm going and doing my thing. Yeah, try that 9 out. Just say, anchor me into 9 ether, please. Dimensional energy. Let me drop into that. Let me get everything done that I need to get done working from the 9th dimensional energy. Why not? You can ask for that. But here's the thing. You have to give yourself permission to be on it. And have to allow yourself to tap into it. Now, if you're going to sit here and head wrestle yourself and hold yourself hostage, if you should or should not have the right to do that, then so be it. Yes, I do. Spiral light is all about colors and all about frequencies. It's all about the codes and it's all about colors and frequency. That's why yesterday when we did the gold pyramid and we were able to sink into that gold pyramid energy and do that quick releasing contract healing. And that was in yesterday's video. Yesterday's video was a very long video. I was like, oh my God. Every time I close my eyes, I see yellow. Any ideas? Yellow is all of that solar plexus. Yellow is dealing with our tummy energy, dealing with our fears, our angers, our upsetness. That's where that's coming in. And it's also dealing with the liver. When we hold things, when we hold things in that liver, because the liver is what? The seat of our emotions. Okay? Seat of our emotions. When you get kidney stones is all about your resentment. You have judgment and resentment against somebody that then pissed you off, you unhappy about. Now you got kidney stones because you couldn't let it go, because you couldn't release it. Gallstones, same thing. Anger, frustration. Cancer, to eat at oneself or to give too much of oneself and having resentment of not receiving. Okay, that's how the body talks to us. Okay, so when we talk about these things and how our bodies hold on to stuff, we don't release that. It keeps us in this constant illness, out of balance, emotional distress. Can't keep your kidney fire up because you're stressed out. Well, I hope all of you really, yes, dis-ease, keeps that dis-ease there. Really look at today and be in honor of where you are in your life. What are the aha moments that you have received since we went through a very dimensional type of thing that happened? Okay? Oh, there's going to be some stuff come out about this. Trust me on that. But I really want each and every one of you to be good to yourselves today. Enjoy yourself. Thank you from UK. Lisa's from UK. Be loving, but be kind and loving to the self. And therefore, don't let other people get underneath your wings. Whoop, whoop. Don't let other people get underneath your skin and throw your energy off. We're in it to win it. This is like, oh my gosh. I heard it so clearly. One of my guys just said, "This is not the final frontier." The little team's back here laughing. So, you are the frontier of the new beginnings. So, all aboard! Who's saying that? I got goosebumps all over me. My head's going. I love that. Thank you. Things were getting a little too serious. We had to break it up and bring some laughter in, send people with a laugh and a smile on their face. I'm like, okay, thank you. Thank you, thank you. You're welcome, welcome. We send you all love. We watch you and we see the changes that are coming. We give you a big universal applause. They're like, we send it out in a ripple effect of love, of all that you've asked for. We hear you. Thank you. All right. Boom. So everyone be good to yourself. I love it when they just come in, when my divine team just drops in like that, and I heard that this is not the final frontier. I was trying laughing. All right, lovelies, be good to yourself. I just love it when they just drop in. Say it with me. You are divinely aligned. You are divinely seen. You are divinely heard. You're divinely loved. Be so like and subscribe. Be true to yourself. Be true to your divine light. Have a fantastic rest of your day. If you are sleeping, have a wonderful, peaceful sleep. May you be rejuvenated when you wake up in the morning. All right, lovelies. I'm hungry. I gotta go eat. What do? Bye, lovelies.